Welcome to The Explainer. We're here to turn those super complex topics into your ultimate study guide for the board exams. Today, we are diving deep into two topics that are basically guaranteed points on the LECPA if you know your stuff: double sales and warranties. Let's get into it. Okay, so picture it. It's exam day. You're cruising along. And then this question pops up. Carla sells her laptop to Ben. Simple enough. But wait, she then sells the same exact laptop to Chris, and Chris physically takes it. So who's the real owner? This is that classic double sale dilemma that trips so many people up. But trust me, after this, you'll know exactly what to do. So here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack that whole double sale mess. Then we'll get into real estate, which has its own set of rules. After that, we're going to gear you up with what I like to call a buyer's superpowers, aka warranties. We'll cover getting evicted, finding hidden problems, and we'll wrap it all up with a final hack to make sure all of this sticks in your brain for exam day. All right, let's jump right in, starting with movable stuff. Things you can actually pick up and carry, just like that laptop in our problem. This is where the law gets pretty specific, and it's all about who acts first. So, first things first, what even is a double sale in the eyes of the law? It's pretty straightforward. You've got one seller, one specific item, like one specific laptop, not just any laptop, and that seller sells it to two or more different buyers. The key is that they're both valid sales. That's when we have a problem to solve.
The whole idea for solving these disputes comes down to this old Latin phrase. It means first in time, stronger in right. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch, and this is crucial for the exam. First in time doesn't just mean who paid first or who signed a paper first. The law has a very specific pecking order for what first really counts.
And for things you can move, cars, phones, that laptop, the rule is super clear. Ownership goes to the person who first takes possession in good faith. So let's go back to Carla, Ben, and Chris. Who got the laptop first? Chris did. So as long as Chris didn't know about the sale to Ben, meaning he was in good faith, he is the rightful owner. For movable things, possession is everything.
Okay, but what happens when you can't just pick up the item and walk away? Let's talk about immovable property: land, houses, buildings. The rules get a lot more formal here. It's less about possession and more about, well, a race to the registrar. And here is your first major study hack for the LECPA. For real estate, you just have to burn this into your brain. RPO. That stands for registration, possession, oldest title. The law cares most about who registered the sale first in good faith. If nobody registered, then we look at who took possession first. And if somehow neither of those happened, we finally look at who has the oldest title. RPO. That's the hierarchy. You probably noticed that phrase "in good faith" keeps popping up. It's the secret ingredient here. It means you bought the thing without knowing anyone else had a claim to it. So if you know about a previous sale but you try to be slick and register first anyway, that's bad faith. And sorry, the law won't protect you. You have to be an innocent buyer for these rules to work in your favor. Awesome. Now let's pivot a little. We've figured out what happens when buyers are fighting each other. But what about the promises a seller makes to a buyer? The law gives you, the buyer, some automatic protections. Think of them as your built-in superpowers that come with every purchase. These superpowers come in two main types. First, you have express warranties. These are the specific things the seller actually says or writes down, like, I guarantee this phone's battery lasts for 24 hours. But then there are implied warranties, and these are the cool ones. They're protections the law automatically gives you, even if the seller never says a single word about them. So one of the biggest, most important implied warranties is what I call the eviction shield. It's basically your defense against someone with a better claim showing up and kicking you off your new property. What this really means is the seller is promising two huge things. One, that they actually have the legal right to sell it in the first place. And two, that you'll get to enjoy your new property in peace without being legally kicked out. It's a fundamental guarantee. Now, here's the tricky part. Can you give up this protection? Yes, but it's all about what you know. If you sign a waiver without knowing about a specific risk, that's called a waiver conscientiae. The seller still has to pay you back the value of the property if you get evicted. But if you knew there was a risk, you understood it, and you decided to buy it anyway, that's a waiver intentionata, then hey, you assume the risk, the seller is totally off the hook. It all comes down to the buyer's awareness. All right, next superpower. This one protects you from those nasty surprises. defects that were there when you bought the item, but were impossible to see at first glance. This is your warranty against hidden defects.
So, this first type kicks in when you're very specific with the seller. You walk in and say, I need a scuba diving watch that works 100 meters underwater. You're relying on them to give you the right product. If they sell you a watch that floods at 20 meters, they've breached the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose.
This one's a bit more, well, general. It's the promise that a product will just do the basic thing it's supposed to do. You know, a toaster should toast bread. A raincoat should keep you dry. It doesn't have to be the world's best raincoat, but it has to be fit for its ordinary, general purpose. And here we go. This is a total exam trap question, so listen up. For most hidden defects, you have about 6 months to complain. But for animals, it's different. If you buy an animal with a hidden illness, what we call a redhibitory defect, you have a much, much shorter deadline. You only have 40 days from the day you get the animal to file a complaint. 40 days. Remember that number?
Phew, we have covered a ton. But don't worry, we're going to pull it all together right now. This last part is your final LSCPA hack, the ultimate cheat sheet to make sure you walk into that exam room feeling confident.
This is it. This is the slide you screenshot, you write down, you put on a sticky note on your mirror. Let's run through it. Double sale of something movable? It's all about who gets possession first. Immovable? Just repeat after me. RPO. Registration, possession, oldest title. For warranty waivers, the key question is, what did the buyer know? And for hidden defects, you just need to ask, was the purpose special or general? See how it all boils down to these simple rules? This chart is going to save you so much time.
Okay, let's put it all together with one last problem. A sells a lot to B. But before B registers, A sells the same lot to C. Now, C knows all about the sale to B, but C is sneaky and rushes to register the sale first. So who has the better right? Let's use our playbook. It's immovable property, so we use RPO. C registered first, right? But did C do it in good faith? Absolutely not. C knew about B. That bad faith knocks C right out of the running. So B, who has the older title in good faith, has the better right. And what about that hidden defect? B is also protected by the implied warranty against them. See? Once you know the rules, these questions become a puzzle you can actually solve. You got this.